I bet you didn't know how one mistake led to a $3.4 billion heist. I remember ordering a pizza late one night, never imagining it could lead to such a massive crime. But for one man, it did. Welcome to Crime Chronicles, where we simplify complex stories for everyone. Hello! Let's dive into the story. The price of a pizza. In the bustling streets of New York, a simple pizza order would set off a chain of events, leading to one of the most audacious heists in history. Our story begins with a young prodigy in Athens, whose talents would soon be exploited in the dark underbelly of the internet. But it was one mistake that would unravel it all. Stay tuned as we uncover the twists and turns of this incredible tale. And let's go! He had it all. Billions, in fact. A fortune amassed in the shadows of the internet. James Jimmy Jong lived a life most could only dream of. He had escaped the authorities for almost a decade. His secret, secure. But even the most meticulous plans can unravel. All it takes is a single misstep. For Jimmy, that misstep came in the form of a careless click, a digital breadcrumb that would lead investigators straight to his door. The stolen billions, once a ticket to unimaginable wealth, were now the chains that would bind him. The year was 2012. The world was just beginning to understand the power of Bitcoin. Few could have predicted its meteoric rise, its transformation from a niche digital curiosity to a global financial force. Fewer still could have imagined the scale of Jimmy's heist. He had exploited a vulnerability in a darknet market, a hidden corner of the internet teeming with illicit goods and clandestine transactions. His prize, a staggering sum of bitcoins, worth a relatively modest amount at the time. But as the years passed, the value of Bitcoin soared. Jimmy's stolen coins, once a digital nest egg, ballooned into a fortune worth billions. James Jong wasn't your typical cybercriminal mastermind. He wasn't a shadowy figure lurking in the darkest corners of the web. In fact, he was a bright young man, a graduate of the University of Georgia with a degree in computer science. He had excelled in his studies, a testament to his sharp mind and natural talent. But beneath the surface of this promising young graduate lurked a daring ambition, a desire for wealth that would ultimately lead him down a dangerous path. Athens, Georgia, a town steeped in history and tradition, seemed a world away from the clandestine world of darknet markets and cryptocurrency heists. Yet, it was here, amidst the bustling campus life and academic pursuits, that Jimmy's fascination with the digital world took hold. He spent countless hours in the university's computer labs, his fingers dancing across the keyboard, his mind absorbed in the intricacies of code. It was here, too, that he first encountered Bitcoin, a decentralized digital currency that promised anonymity and freedom from traditional financial systems. The allure of this new frontier, with its potential for both innovation and illicit gain, proved irresistible. University professor, Jimmy was one of our brightest students. His understanding of complex algorithms and cryptographic principles was extraordinary. Little did we know, he would use those skills for something far beyond our expectations. Jimmy was not just a solitary figure. He was well liked among his peers, often seen engaging in lively discussions about the future of technology. The university library became his second home, a place where he could delve deep into the world of cryptography and blockchain technology. Books on cryptography and digital currencies filled his shelves, each one a stepping stone in his journey towards mastering the digital realm. He attended tech conferences and seminars, always eager to learn more, to push the boundaries of what was possible. His professors often praised his innovative ideas, and his classmates admired his dedication and drive. But as his knowledge grew, so did his curiosity about the darker side of the internet. The line between right and wrong began to blur, and the thrill of the unknown beckoned him. He started experimenting with Bitcoin mining, setting up rigs in his dorm room, fascinated by the process of creating digital currency. It wasn't long before he stumbled upon darknet markets, places where anonymity reigned supreme and illicit transactions were the norm. The temptation was too great to resist, and Jimmy found himself drawn deeper into this hidden world. University professor. We noticed a change in him, a shift in his focus. He became more secretive, more withdrawn. Jimmy's ambition had taken a dangerous turn, and the skills that once promised a bright future were now leading him down a perilous path. Athens, Georgia, with its historic charm and academic prestige, had unknowingly become the backdrop for a story of ambition, innovation, and ultimately, betrayal. And so, as the sun set over the town, Jimmy's journey into the shadows began, a journey that would forever change his life and the lives of those around him. The Darknet, a hidden underbelly of the internet, shrouded in anonymity and rife with danger. It's a place where the rules of the surface web don't apply, and where the shadows conceal both opportunity and peril. It was here, in this digital underworld, that Jimmy discovered a vulnerability, a chink in the armor of a bustling online marketplace. This discovery was not by chance. It was the result of countless hours spent navigating the labyrinthine corridors of the dark web, a place where only the most skilled and daring dare to tread. This wasn't your typical online shopping destination. Unlike the familiar e-commerce giants, this marketplace thrived on secrecy and illicit trade. This was a darknet market, a platform for buying and selling everything from illegal drugs and weapons to stolen data and counterfeit goods. The sheer variety of illegal items available was staggering, a testament to the dark web's thriving underground economy. Transactions were conducted in Bitcoin, the digital currency offering a cloak of anonymity to both buyers and sellers. This anonymity was both a shield and a sword, protecting identities while enabling nefarious activities. The vulnerability Jimmy discovered was subtle, a flaw in the market's withdrawal system. It was a tiny crack, almost imperceptible, but to a seasoned hacker like Jimmy, it was a golden opportunity. He realized that by manipulating his requests, he could trick the system into releasing more bitcoins than he was entitled to. This required precision and a deep understanding of the market's inner workings. It was a risky move, a high-stakes gamble that could land him in serious trouble if caught. The dark web was not a place for the faint-hearted, and the consequences of failure were severe, but the potential reward was too great to resist. The allure of easy money, the thrill of outsmarting the system, and the promise of untold riches were too powerful to ignore. With each successful withdrawal, Jimmy's digital coffers swelled, his confidence growing alongside his illicit fortune. He was playing a dangerous game, but for now, he was winning. He had stumbled upon a gold mine, a digital fountain of wealth that seemed inexhaustible. Every successful hack felt like striking gold, and Jimmy was determined to mine this vein for all it was worth. Darknet Market Admin. Media. Admin shocked by Darknet system exploitation. We had no idea someone could exploit the system like that. The realization that their supposedly secure system had been breached was a wake-up call. It was supposed to be foolproof, but Jimmy found a way to break it. The dark web's administrators were now on high alert, scrambling to patch the vulnerability and prevent further exploitation. But for Jimmy, the game was far from over. He knew that the dark web was a constantly evolving battlefield, and he was ready for the next challenge. The year is 2013. Bitcoin, once a niche digital curiosity, is beginning its meteoric rise. Its value, once measured in pennies, is now climbing towards dollars, then tens, then hundreds. Each day, the news is filled with stories of early adopters becoming overnight millionaires, their digital holdings skyrocketing in value. The world is starting to take notice, and the financial landscape is on the brink of a revolution. For most, it's a time of excitement, of riding the wave of a technological and financial revolution. People are gathering in online forums, sharing their success stories, and speculating about the future of this digital gold. The air is thick with optimism and the promise of untold riches. But for Jimmy, it's a period of silent anticipation, of watching his stolen fortune multiply before his eyes. He had stumbled upon this opportunity almost by accident, a twist of fate that had left him both thrilled and terrified. Each day, he would sit in front of his computer, eyes glued to the screen, heart pounding, as he watched the numbers climb higher and higher. He had amassed a staggering sum of bitcoins, far more than he had ever dreamed possible. It was a fortune that could change his life forever. A digital treasure trove that seemed almost too good to be true. He would often find himself counting and recounting his holdings, unable to believe his luck. The value of his loot, once a substantial but manageable sum, was now reaching astronomical heights. Every day brought new records, new milestones, and with them a growing sense of unease. The higher the value climbed, the more precarious his situation became. He was sitting on a gold mine, a digital fortune that could set him up for life. The possibilities were endless. He could buy anything he wanted, travel the world, live a life of luxury. But with great wealth came great responsibility, and Jimmy knew that his newfound riches were a double-edged sword. But with this newfound wealth came a constant fear, a nagging anxiety that his secret could be exposed at any moment. He was always looking over his shoulder, always second-guessing his every move. The fear of losing everything was a constant companion, a shadow that followed him wherever he went. He knew the authorities were always watching, their eyes peeled for any suspicious activity in the volatile world of cryptocurrency. The news was filled with stories of crackdowns, of people being arrested for their involvement in illegal activities. Jimmy knew that he had to be careful, that one wrong move could bring everything crashing down. Jimmy had to be careful to avoid any misstep that could attract unwanted attention. He had to stay one step ahead, to outsmart those who would seek to take his fortune away. It was a game of cat and mouse, a high-stakes gamble that left him constantly on edge. He had to become a ghost, disappearing into the digital ether, his newfound wealth, his closely guarded secret. He took every precaution, used every trick in the book to stay hidden, but the fear never left him, a constant reminder of the precariousness of his situation. James Jimmy Jong. Every day, I watched the value of Bitcoin climb higher and higher. It was like watching a roller coaster, thrilling and terrifying all at once. The highs were exhilarating, but the lows were gut-wrenching. I knew that at any moment, everything could change. It was exhilarating, but also terrifying. The stakes were higher than ever, and the pressure was immense. Every decision, every move had to be carefully calculated. There was no room for error, no margin for mistake. One wrong move, and everything could come crashing down. The fear of losing it all was a constant presence, a dark cloud that hung over him. But despite the fear, despite the anxiety, Jimmy couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement, a thrill that came from living on the edge. It was a dangerous game, but one that he was determined to win.